Benji Cole, son of Al Cole from CBS Radio and host of People of Distinction, the talk that gives an in-depth view of some of the most dynamic, intelligent, and successful people on the planet. Run to our website, peopleofdistinction.org for more info, or you can always email me directly at benji@alcoleenterprises.com. And on the line with us today, we have Marcia Bundalian-Stephen. We're going to be discussing her wonderful book, Are You Wearing My Other Shoe? Available for purchase through Amazon as well as barnesandnoble.com and People Listen. Marcia was brought to our network, People of Distinction, by some of the best publishers in the business. You are Link Print and Media Publishing. So if you have a book that you'd like moved, give yourself the best gift you could possibly give and contact You Are Link to move it for you. You can find out more information on them at yourlinkpublishing.com. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Marcia, first and foremost, welcome to People of Distinction. Thank you very much for being a guest with us today. How are you?
I am pretty good. I'm talking to you, Benji, and this is awesome. Thank you so much. Really, thank you.
Marcia, the pleasure is all ours. Thank you for being a guest. Listen, we get a lot of authors, we get a lot of books, and a lot of different artists that come to our network. And of course, we have to sift through them and find which ones to select and put on. And your book is exceptional. Okay, and we really wanted to take the opportunity to make sure that we had you here on the network to discuss it, because I think there are so many lessons that can be gained. So the pleasure is all ours, and we're absolutely looking forward to this. Marcia, let's go right into it, okay? Are You Wearing My Other Shoe? Tell us a little bit more about your narrative.
My nationality is I'm Filipino, and my mother has Spanish blood, and my father has Armenian blood. And both of them are, of course, Filipino. So if you see me in person, you would never even think I'm Filipino because I look different. Mm-hmm. And I think that is something that is really unique from the beginning. So, and even my name, Marcia is just really wonderful. So it's a good life, seriously. That's why I decided to write this memoir, because I wanted to share it to other readers like me who have ventured into this world with so much hope, with so much enthusiasm for the life that is ahead. Yeah, my nationality is very unique, and so it's my life. That is why every challenges that I had faced, from growing up to maturity and everything else, and moving from the Philippines to New York to California, gave me so much that I wanted to share it to the readers, because here is my life story that may also be yours. And together, my book will bring you to a position where you say, you know what, I can be better than I am right now because Marcia has done it. And that is what I want to convey to my readers.
Marcia, listen, the back of the book, or I know one of the final pages, has a little description that you've written that I absolutely, when I read it, it was just, my goodness. The story that is ahead, the story that we are now waiting for, it just, again, you can't help but instantly go and order the book if you haven't already, or just jump right inside and start to read it. Can you either read that excerpt or tell us a little bit more about that and that description that you gave?
Well, I did a childish, foolish thing, and then when I went home, my mother was there at the door and just like giving me my little suitcase, and I started running away, and I was crying because my mom said to me, better leave because your brother is very angry and, he might kill you. So I just kept running and running and running and crying. And I didn't even want to look back because I was afraid who I was going to see who has killed me.
Oh, my goodness. That's just one experience in your book. Marcia, I want to cover your title. Are You Wearing My Other Shoe? Because it's very intriguing. right? And it really stops you in your track
Yes.
and takes you in. Talk to our
Yes.
listening audience about that title, the connection it has to your narrative, and why you chose that to be the representation for your book.
Well, because there are a lot, especially women. Let me talk about women because I'm a woman. The reason why I chose that title, Are You Wearing My Other Shoe, is because I know a lot of women out there have experienced what I had experienced in my life, and the challenges that I have to go through, the heartache, the embarrassment, everything else that was, that kept me like I didn't even want to say anything or talk to anybody. It just was like a prisoner for me. And I wanted my readers to understand that no matter how you are, four-wall cell, you can still get out of there. And that is what I've done because I changed my attitude about my life. I decided I am not going to be, subjected to feeling sorry for myself because there's a way out. And I truly believe that there are a lot of women like me who had gone through a lot of my challenges. They would read it in my book, and I'm sure they would say, wow, I went through the same thing, and she went through that. So it is, to me, like mentoring my fellow women and maybe some men that, there's always hope at the end of the tunnel, they used to say. And it all depends on how we take these challenges. I wrote a little message that says, our life isn't about the challenges that we have. It is about facing them, or it's about going around them or underneath them. But the most important thing is that we need to face our problems and solve them ourselves. And if we can do that, then we're going to be okay. Sometimes we have to understand that the challenges that we have in life make us even stronger than we ever even think of. And that is what my life is all about. Every challenge and every, victory I've done have made me a better person and a stronger one. And I know that no matter what happens to me, I will be able to jump over it and move on.
It comes down to the perception in which we take. And the fact that, listen, she's talking about you have to face your problems. We understand we're oversimplifying because in the moment it's never as easy as I just have to face this problem. I have to face this dilemma. I mean, when you get down to brass tacks, yes, but it's never that simple, right? But one thing that I live by...
Benji,
go ahead.
Excuse me, but one thing that one of the things that I have experienced in my lifetime is that you trust people. That is the most important thing. If you can't trust people, where are we going? But it's normal that when you trust someone will still do something bad to you. So disappointments are plenty, but saying to yourself, that's okay. I don't need that. I can walk away from it.
Absolutely.
Because I have something better ahead of me.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And again, it gets back to a saying that I live by, and I've mentioned a number of times in the past. Guys, there are no wins and losses in life. There are wins and lessons. And in any situation, no matter how bleak, no matter how adverse it may be and it may seem, there is a silver lining. There is something to be learned and to be gained. And when you start to view it from that scenario, from that perception, even when you're going through something that could otherwise be viewed as, oh, that was a failed moment. That was a failed attempt. Yeah, but what did I learn? Right? I think it was Thomas Edison. I remember, and I'm going to paraphrase because the quote I can't remember exactly. But Thomas Edison was interviewed once, and he was talking about how it took him 1,000 times to learn how to do the light bulb. And his response was, he just learned 1,000 ways not to construct a light bulb. But then on that 1,001st try, he accomplished it. And the perception was, hey, all those previous attempts, they weren't failures. They were learning lessons. So you learned that's not going to work. Let me try it this way. And it's a process of elimination. And again, I understand people. I'm oversimplifying for the sake of the interview. But what she's talking about is profound. You have to head on over to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, pick up your copy of Are You Wearing My Other Shoe to gather all of the information that she has in store. Marcia, next question that I really want to get to, and thank you so much for the information that you've relayed so far. What would you say was a highlight for you in writing the book? Or if not a highlight, something that surprised you that you weren't anticipating before you began on the journey?
Well, first of all, this book was written to honor my father. My father, I was the apple of his eye, and my father is gone now. And through him, I received this gift of writing. So that, to me, I've offered this book to him, to my dad.
Mm-hmm.
But the highlight of this book, I could not believe it when the publishers sent me via email the cover of my book. I tell you, Benji, I sat there in front of the computer. I was crying because when I saw I'm getting goosebumps right now. When I saw the book, it was the way exactly how I wanted it to appear. So the highlight of this is just telling my story. And I even said to myself, who would want to buy my book? Nobody knows me. But what I wrote inside is something that belongs to somebody else. The fears that I had when I was in Ireland, climbing the steep staircase that was dark, and going through the Barney Castle that is basically like a skeleton castle. I mean, there's a fear there, and yet I went there. Mm-hmm. My audience would enjoy reading that because they will find out how I did it. And we need to remove the fear in order for us to move on and experience something new. That's how I look at my life right now.
Marcia, I love it because everything that you're saying is so profound. Like, there's so much wisdom just within this interview, guys. You can imagine when you pick up the book. Yeah, Marcia, as we start to close out of this fantastic interview, my last couple of questions here. What is next for you? What's on the horizon? Please tell me there's more to come and there's another book in the work. What's upcoming for you, Marcia?
If you think this book is great and beautiful and awesome, you should see my second book. I'm going to start writing it in June 1st. That is my goal. I'm going to start writing my second book, and it's got to be a lot more, emotions and truth. My book is all about truth. There's nothing in this book that is not a fact. Mm-hmm. So, because that is how I want it, because even though I'm sharing my life with people I do not know, it's okay because this is my life and I'm not doing this to sell my book or anything like that. I want them to see my life and I want to share it with them, and I want them to find kind of, not solution because I'm not a doctor or anything like that, but to find something good about this book that will help them. That is what I want. This is my purpose for writing the book. But my second one will be very, very hot. It's going to be different. So I know you would love it, Benji, because the stories that I have there that I already have lined up are really simply wonderful.
There you have it. Guys, there you have it. Last question here, Marcia. I love having this platform. Being an artist myself, I love having the platform to be able to pay it forward, in a sense, to other artists out there listening in, right? And in this instance, you're an author, so other writers out there listening in. Now, you have one book already completed under your belt. You just stated you have another one that's going to be released very shortly. You're going to start working on it in the coming months. Marcia, yes. For any new writers out there listening in, someone just starting out, what words of wisdom could you relay to them?
I just want them to always remember that every night before you go to bed, write something that you want to add to your book. And never get frustrated with it. Never think there's nothing enough that you can put in there, because there is. If you're writing about your life, there will always be something that's come up in your mind. And just write it. Just share it. Don't be afraid. Never mind. Never mind who reads it. Just let it go and let it fly and let it bring blessings to everybody.
There it is. Right from your heart, guys. Right from your heart. Write what you know. Write what you're passionate about. When you're operating from that standpoint and passion is leading you, your heart is leading you, you're never going to end up in the wrong place. I love it. I absolutely love it. And people, you know what I love even more is we're at the end of the interview now. We have discussed so much information pertaining to her book, and yet somehow we've barely scratched the surface. I mean, there's still so much left to be discovered. I'm going to say it for you once again. I know I don't have to, but let's re-impress it. We're here on the line with Marcia Bundalian-Stephen. We finished discussing her wonderful memoir, Are You Wearing My Other Shoe? Available for purchase through Amazon, barnesandnoble.com. But make sure you're checking in frequently. As she stated, there's another book on the horizon that's yet to come. Head on over there, pick up your copies today. Marcia, this has been an absolute pleasure, such an honor. Thank you once again for being a guest on People of Distinction.
I really, really appreciate this, Benji. You are a godsend to me. Thank you so much. And thank you for our call as well, for having you.